One of the greatest callings, I believe, Bev, that I have as a photographer is to tell people stories. Behind every face, there's a story.
The thing I love most about my girls is in their own special way, they bring such joy to my life.
My husband is phenomenal. I feel so very lucky.
When I look at my son, I see joy. That's what I see.
I treasure the portraits in our home because they capture moments.
It went beyond photography to the place to where it brought emotion and an emotional state in me and my wife beyond what is sitting on a canvas.
As I learned photography, when I began, I found real comfort in structure. The depth of an image is in sharing the story. And it's in learning people's stories and then figuring out ways to interpret that in a still image.
I love that we're storytellers. It feels like we're entering into people's lives. They trust us. That's one of the greatest things, I think, is that they trust us enough to tell their story.
If I think about my career, some of the most rewarding things, one of them was hooking up a decade plus ago with hospice and their Daniels Care, the pediatric arm of hospice, and doing a portrait a month for families that have children with life-threatening illnesses. And it's how we met a wonderful family that we love and a young lady that we had the opportunity to photograph named Zoe.
It's the first portrait on our wall with the kids. I don't know that there are words to explain what it means to us.
Tim and Bev are family, more so than just a photographer.
You know, you can go somewhere and have pictures done, or you can come here and have a memory made. If you know the people that you're taking a picture of, it shows.
Yeah.
It shows.
I would say that a portrait lasts a lifetime, and life's so short and can be cut short, but you'll always have a photograph.
I think of one other story too that's really powerful, and that, you know, is a portrait of Harold Dennis, who survived the worst drunk driving accident in history. Yeah, that was a tragedy, but his life's not a tragedy. Sometimes we have challenges, and sometimes we hear those stories, but man, these great victories come out of it. And I think Harold is one of those great victories.
When I was 14, I was involved in what's known today as our nation's worst drunk driving crash that killed 27 people. I survived the crash, sustained a third-degree burns, spent 3 months in the hospital. When I came out of the hospital, I wanted to make a point to just getting my life back and not let it define, who Harold would be for the duration of my life. So I do public speaking where I go and share my story. It's very easy to succumb to whatever it is you've been through. I would just encourage people to not let that define them, not let that stop them. And it's cliche, but I think that there's a lot of truth to, you set your mind to something, you can do it.
I always say if you really want to be successful in today's market, you have to create gaps between you and the masses. And I don't think anything creates a gap like having an emotional tag to what you do. The technical things are like the paintbrush, to me, the lighting. And it's how I would paint a portrait, but the story is the vision, it's the purpose, it's the depth, it's the richness. And if you can cross those barriers with people, you will segregate yourself from the masses, you will create such a gap, and it won't be in your photography skills, it'll be in your people skills, it'll be in your purpose and in your vision, and it's powerful.